Hello, 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 everybody. It is just about time for the new moon in Libra. And so I'm just hopping on here because I have to lay out all of the cards. So give people some time to hop on. If you're watching on YouTube, then the timestamps are already available for you. But if you're watching live, then obviously they are not. So today I'm going to be starting with Libra because, as you guys know, the readings that I do anytime there's a full or new moon, they do start with the sign that they are in. And yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. This is going to be my last live reading for a couple weeks because I am going to be gone. But regular scheduled programming will continue even while I'm away. So the weekly messages will still be up on Mondays. The November readings will still come out on the 15th. None of that is changing just because I'm going on vacation. So everything is all set up, locked and loaded, ready to go. And hello, if you're hopping on, don't forget, if you have Libra placements, or if you want to let me know what your sun, moon, and rising is, or where Libra is in your chart, you're welcome to leave it in the comments section. And I have a good mix of cards today. So it's like I have animal cards, tarot, and oracle. So we got a good mix going on. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. So the other thing that I want to mention is I know that a lot of people are wondering, or if you're not familiar with like the astrological aspect of this, Libra is really about reciprocity, give and take, balancing the scales, keeping things even keeled. And so that is really what you can start manifesting around. Where do you want to see more balance in your life? And it is going to be helpful if you know where Libra is in your chart, so you can kind of get a pinpoint of what is being refreshed for you with this lunar cycle. Okay, so we're starting with Libra. This is good if you're sun, moon, or rising Libra. And let's see what's going on. First thing, we have Justice. This is your card. Okay, perfect. So Libras really feeling themselves with this new moon. I think it would be a great time to focus on anything identity-based. Look at any and all areas where you're feeling out of whack, out of balance, and just consider the ways that you can really get a hold of that and start weaving in more of the elements that you want to see carry forward. Okay, so it's just about focusing on alignment. That's definitely what's coming up with the Justice card. And the animal card for you is hummingbird. So I think you're going to find yourself with a lot more energy with this new moon. Like, it's definitely a big reset button energetically for you. So you kind of get all of that yummy, clear-headed, clear-minded energy that's just going to help you carry forward in a way that's really intuitive, and it's going to help you with goals and all of that stuff. And then we also have sitting on top of the world. Okay, so definitely taking a new perspective around yourself, around your life, around your relationships, where they're in harmony and where they are not. All of those things are going to be coming up for you, but I can definitely tell you that this moon is going to be really, really refreshing if you have a lot of Libra placements. So this looks super, super good. Okay. That's kind of the ideal reading for Libras. Okay, Scorpios, sun, moon, and rising. Hello to all my Scorpio friends. Okay, let's see what's coming up for you first. We have the World. So this is really pointing to cycles that you're incorporating. I also want to point out that we do have the Venus retrograding through Scorpio. So that is kind of what's bringing up all of this stuff with this Libra new moon, who also rules Venus. So it's definitely going to highlight a lot of the ways that maybe you've been perpetuating certain cycles, as well as how you've been breaking them down, what you're letting go of, what you want to reincorporate. So all of these things are going to be intertwined for you. But overall, it looks good. It looks like things are really flowing. And I want to be clear, this doesn't have any energy of like a release card. It's more of a progress card, like how you're incorporating these things into your life. And also, habits is coming up with this too. Like, what do you want to reintegrate? Like, what have you forgotten that you really enjoyed doing, or that you loved, or that made you feel good? It's like getting back in touch with all that. And then the animal card for you is Moth. So personal evolution. It really is about your growing, spreading your wings, moving in a direction that works for you. And I think there's been a significant incubation period for you, which you're now breaking out of and venturing on into the world in a new way. It just looks like total revitalizing you. And then we have calm within transformation. Okay, and that's really what this is pointing to. It's showing that you are evolving. This is transformation, but it looks much smoother. A lot of transformations are really turbulent, but that's not what's coming up here. It looks like it's really well-paced, well-matched for where you're at energetically. Just overall, it looks really healing and soothing. So you kind of have all this benefit to, the way that things are unfolding, and you can kind of see yourself from some different angles and just see, oh yeah, that's where I want to make that tweak. It just seems like everything is a really good idea, rather than it being this trudging, I have to make changes. It's definitely better than that. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's a sweet compliment. Thank you. All right, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. Hello, hello, my Sagittarius friends. Let's see what's coming up for you with this new moon. Knight of Swords. So this is definitely going to be pushing a lot of your energy up into your head, being really cerebral at this time, which I know a lot of Sagittarians already do, but this is just going to ignite that even more. And so that it might be a little bit top heavy. I would say if you're feeling like really unbalanced, then try grounding, because that's kind of what the Knight of Swords. Did I say King? I'm sorry if I misspoke. This is Knight of Swords. So it's just like trying to pull some of that chi back down into your body is going to be really helpful, because it might be just overwhelming ideas, overwhelming inspiration. And while that's a good thing, we want to make sure that we retain and remember the information rather than it just leaking out. And then the animal card for you is Snake. So there's something about this time when it looks like you're really going to be adaptive to the environment around you, the situations that you have going on. It looks like you're kind of taking an innovative approach to things, and rather than you trying to force something into a box, you're really emphasizing and using your mutable qualities in order to help you at this time. So that looks really good. And then we also have Volcano. Again, this is all of that top heavy energy. It's really one of those times when you want to get a pen and paper out, jot down all of your notes, jot down all of your ideas, like really take advantage of the energy that you kind of have coming up right now. And then also work on the grounding piece through this new moon. And you might find if you feel tired, that would not surprise me at all. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see what's going on. First, the Chariot. This is going to give you a lot of motivation. So for the next, I would say like for the next week or so, it looks like things are really going to be on the up and up for you. And I think this is also kind of clearing a lot of things out to kind of reground and give you some additional support. So the Chariot, I think that the Chariot in this card, it's a little bit chaotic looking. So I think that's clearing up for you. You might feel a little bit like a chicken with your head cut off, like just running around, kind of chaotic. And so it looks like this new moon is going to help balance that out and bring more equilibrium into the way that you get things done. And then we have raccoons. So, yep, being resourceful and scrappy is kind of the raccoon's gift. And you already know how to get the resources that you need. That's a gift that Capricorns have. It's like they can MacGyver just about anything to make it work for them. And so it's like just because you can do that doesn't mean you have to turn that valve on high at all times. You can also find a way to keep it more balanced and equal. So that's what this Libra new moon is teaching you, is that you don't have to just patchwork things together for the sake of getting them done on your terms. You can find a sustainable way to make that happen. And then we also have stay back. So pump the brakes a little bit there. Again, it's like the worst thing that you can do with this card is add fuel to the fire or try to overwork in this condition, because things are just going to get messier and messier if you push it too much. So set boundaries with yourself. The stay back card is just kind of like, okay, hold on, breathe. Like before you make any wild actions or start like a new project, for example, you're going to want to take some time for yourself, stay, and stabilize yourself. It's like Capricorns are good at doing that. So it's just like anywhere that you're feeling a little bit, like things have become a little bit destabilized, that's what you want to tackle first. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. Let's see what's going on. The High Priestess. So the new moon is probably going to give you a bunch of intuitive downloads. I think it's a good time to, again, like with this super airy energy, notice, pay attention to all of the things that you have coming up at this time, because they have a lot to teach you, as well as, you know, any wisdom that you're kind of extracting from this period. There's a lot of growth happening for you right now, but it's kind of in the incubation chamber. That's what the High Priestess, the High Priestess is still. There's a stillness to this card where it's just receiving information, listening to what's going on in your immediate vicinity, and then integrating from there. So it looks like this new moon, it's important for you to slow down a little bit and take some time to integrate. Then vultures. So again, look at your surroundings before you take action. Vultures like hang out. They circle around in the sky for a while. They wait. You know, they don't go in right away. So you kind of want to check around yourself and see what's going on. Get the full picture, get all the information before you do anything. Okay? And then we have good things. So if you like it, and it looks like this is conditional because you have the High Priestess and the Vulture. It's kind of like, no, this doesn't mean that you can just behave out of impulse and have good things happen, you have to be a little bit more methodical than that. You have to give it a little bit more time. You have to sit with it a little bit longer in order to get here. So remember that it really does take some patience with this. And I know that Aquarians aren't always the most patient in the zodiac bunch. So, you know, just do your best. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. Okay. 10 of Swords. So, in order to rebuild, you have to make space. And so the 10 of Swords, more than anything else, is kind of like, where are you going to find your time? Where are you going to find your space? And what are you going to sacrifice? That's the other thing that's coming up with this card. It's kind of like you only have so many hours in a day, right? So if you're focusing on what you want to build, what you want to construct for yourself next, then you really want to pay attention to what can you put on the back burner realistically? What can you restructure realistically that's going to work for you and help you achieve the things that you want? That's a big thing that's coming up with this 10 of Swords. And I also want to let you know that it looks intentional. It looks like something that you are actively doing, not something that just kind of like this. This is like a drama-free 10 of Swords. When I'm reading this, it's kind of like you can see the bigger picture that's at work here. It's just about letting yourself be highly conscientious of where you need to achieve balance in some way or where you've been a little bit skewed, and then being willing to set certain things aside. The animal for you is bear. Think about it. Just marinate with the information. Consider it. See how it gels with you. You don't have to put anything into practice right away. The bear, immediately hibernation came up. And so it's kind of like, okay, is it, what are you doing in order to better yourself, better your life, position yourself a little bit better? Ask yourself these questions, and it's going to be clear what isn't working. That's also what's going to be really helpful with the Venus retrograde energy that you have. That's going to highlight a lot of what needs to go, what needs to be set aside, so that you can get more in touch with the things that are going to rejuvenate you. And then we have the all-knower. Yeah, this just looks like clarity. Clarity and then integration. It does, even though you have the 10 of Swords, it really doesn't look that heavy to me. It doesn't look like purging all your relationships and throwing things away. It doesn't look like that at all. It's just like the information that you need is kind of coming to the surface, and this is going to be to your benefit, to your advantage. Sit with it, think about it, and then you can go from there. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. Hello, hello, hello. All right, Aries. 6 of Swords. So it looks like the Libra energy is just pushing you to move forward, like move on. The things of the past, the things that didn't work are okay. It's safe to move forward with your original plan. This looks kind of like confirmation. The new moon, I think, I suspect it's going to be slowing things down quite a bit. I think that it's going to really put things in perspective. And so you might have to take a moment with this new moon and just consider your direction and then head that way. So that's what the 6 of Swords looks like here. And then the animal card for you is turkey. Okay. So I hold on, let me pull this one and then I'll have more information about the turkey. We have no bull. This is a very Aries card. This is kind of a weird combination because the Six of Swords and the No Bull card is really about being authentic with yourself, or like really true to yourself. Aries doesn't have an issue doing that, but I think Libra is really helping you to consider other perspectives, other vantage points, and consider the rest of the information that you might need in order to figure out your course of action. Where Turkey, the thing that's coming up, and I know it's so strange because this probably is not the interpretation that most people would have, but it really is making me think of community. That's the intuitive hit that I'm getting, is taking community or group or the collective or familial information into consideration. Okay, so by that, I mean either someone or a group that you're dealing with in present time, or patterns that come from a family lineage are going to be coming up to the surface. I don't know why Turkey is bringing that up. I really do not have an answer for you, but that's what I'm getting from this card, especially when I'm seeing this, because Aries is really good at going against the grain. If Aries doesn't like something, they're just not going to do it. And so you have the gift of authenticity in a lot of ways in your identity, but it's also about considering the relationships. That's what Libra helps you do, is considering more than just yourself and your objective. So it's about seeing all sides. Okay, then we have Taurus. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. Okay. The Lovers, beautiful. And Taurus as well as Libra rule Venus. And so that kind of makes sense that things are really gelling well together with this new moon. And so there's somewhat of a pink cloud effect happening here for you. Again, I'm going to encourage you to ground. This is going to be a great time for Taurus to nest. So this doesn't have to literally mean partnership, anything partnership related. It's relationships. All varieties, professional, platonic, familial, romantic, like relationships are really coming to the surface. And then the other piece that's coming up is building or constructing. So I'm getting that, like spending time at home, redecorating, arranging your furniture, reading a book, drinking some tea, like that's the imagery that I'm getting, is just the nesting piece. And so you're going to have a lot of that coming to the surface. And that's also going to help you ground this out, because there's somewhat of some floating energy that's happening there. And then we have Otter, like you have another partnership or relational reference that's coming up in this. So, it just really looks like, again, that honeymoon phase, pink cloud, loving on the people that you care about and yourself, just really emphasizing being present in your relationships. So that looks really, it just looks really sweet. I think this is going to be a nice energy for you to work with. And then we have Rainbow Transference. All of these are pointing to relationships. It's screaming relationships. And I think you're going to get a whole new perspective on the way that you are influencing your relationships, the types of relationships you're calling into your space, the things that you're attracting, the things that you're contributing. It just looks like the reciprocity is real. Okay, so that's an exciting read. I can say that you probably got the best set of cards, depending on what your preference is. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. Okay. Seven of Wands. So you really are kind of seeing above the noise. It's kind of like set aside all of the assumptions, set aside all of the information that you thought you had right, that you thought you knew, and you're really able to look at things, because Libra is all about consideration. And so for a lot of the signs, it's bringing up consideration. Consider your plans, consider relationships, consider what you're building, consider your view of self. And so it looks like that's also what's coming up for you as well, is just consider all sides. And then let's see, we have Cheetah. So this is going to be like this new moon is going to give you the green light to execute. Make things happen. This is a great energy to get things done with if the moon doesn't make you tired. So if it makes you really tired and you're super sensitive, this is going to come after the new moon fog. But it's like, now that you can kind of see the other side of things, the other perspective, it's going to give you all of the input you need in order to move forward in the direction that you're looking towards. And then we have Rainbow Bridge. Is the missing piece, the missing connection, the information that you didn't have before is surfacing. So that's what you're able to kind of look at and then move forward with. I think that this is like going to provide some resolution to something that may have been sitting on your plate, something that you may not have realized was kind of in the process of being resolved or needed to be resolved. It's going to deliver it organically. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hello, hello, hello. Page of Pentacles. You look more productive than usual, because one of the things that can happen when there's a lot of air energy is that it makes you feel very spacey and heady. So for you, this actually seems to be a nice fit for the things that you're moving forward with, for initiating projects, for getting clear on what you want to do, what you enjoy, what you love. It seems like you have the aha, this is what I need to do next. The animal card for you is Bat, so coming out of the dark. It seems like you may have been going through a period of confusion, uncertainty, not totally being able to align yourself with what was right. And so now you're coming out of that. You're really able to see where and how you want to get things done. And it's just like a whole new vision for yourself. So that's exciting. And then we also have Your Light. So this is, again, like I said, coming out of the dark. And when you come out of the dark, it's kind of like, oh, there it is. That's that thing that I wanted to do. There's my answer. There's my clarity. There's that missing piece. There's that, or that passion that may have been lost. So you get, the gift of feeling an alignment with yourself with this new moon. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hello, hello to all of the Leos out there. Okay. Six of Wands. So this is some like taking off energy, like the engine is on, you're in gear, you're ready to go, and it looks like you're gonna completely take off. So this is a nice set to work with. And then let's see what else is coming up for you. So the animal card is Jellyfish. You seem to be, even though you're a fixed sign, it looks like this is going to bring up quite a bit of flexibility. So that actually is not that's not typical of Leo. Leo's really good at setting their sights on something and having a sustainable energy to carry with them through whatever they want to get done. And so the jellyfish is just kind of floating around, being more flexible in the direction, in the current, in the experience. So it seems like this is really giving you some new perspective on the way that you can still get things done. You can still accomplish your goals. You can still check off all your boxes and do all the things that you want without being rigid, without closing out other opportunities, without shutting everything down. And so this just looks like a nice mix here, because it's a new way of moving forward. And then you also have twin. So it's kind of like the high contrast of the way you were doing things, and all of the bugs are kind of working their way out of that system. And that's what the jellyfish card is really helping you to do. So that looks really good. And this is just showing the contrast of like, this is highly fixed, this is really flexible, and then this is just showing that there's a lot to work with in the middle of that. It's not extreme, it's not one way or the other. It is all about both and, not either or, if you will, for Leo. Okay, Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Hello, hello to all of my Virgo friends, especially if you're in the Virgo Moon Club, because I am too. All right, what's coming up? Eight of Pentacles. I think that this is going to have your mind and your creativity really oriented towards projects, work, organizational systems, habits. It's going to bring up all of those things where you're going to apply your efforts. And so the Eight of Pentacles is just like, get to work, stay on task, get things done. And you're going to find that in all of those nooks and crannies, feeling into the contours of areas where you may have overlooked something, you're going to go back, retune, and refine so that you can have more energy moving forward. And again, it's about sustainable systems, not overworking. The animal card for you is Crow. So there's a lot of information that is really making its way through. You know, there's even a reference to the crown chakra, if you can see that little crown that's on the crow's head. And so this is just really communicating that cut out for a moment. It's just communicating that you are getting a lot more information than you may realize from this new moon, because that's kind of what's being delivered. Is Libra's delivering the other side. It's providing all of the other information, the other half. You know, if you've only been working in one area or one element, it's going to expose and show you all of the missing pieces to what is on the other side of it. So that's what, you know, you want to pay attention to. And then we have the Sword, and this is just kind of about creating some stability there, because this is also referencing that, because if you look in the traditional Justice card, she's actually holding a sword as well. And so it's really all about the mind. It's all about how you're working with the information that you have, how you're balancing things out, how you're making things sustainable, how you are, and what's missing in your life. Like, what are you needing? These are reoccurring themes among many signs right now. This is really pointing to the information download of the whole other side that you're missing. All right, so that is all that I have for you today. I certainly hope you've enjoyed this reading. Thank you, everyone, for watching and commenting and liking and sharing and all of that good stuff. So that's all I have for you today, and until next time, have a lovely week. Good luck with the new moon and Venus retrograde, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.